Beloved of God, listen. This night is not like any other night. This is the night of awakening, the hour of divine unveiling. For ages past, the world has slumbered in shadows, and even the chosen have walked half awake, half alive. But tonight, the trumpet is sounding in the Spirit. It is calling you, the chosen ones, to arise. For the word says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you." You are not here by chance. You are not a spectator in the story of history. You are the prophecy in motion, the fulfillment of what was spoken long ago. The world trembles because it senses the shift. Nations rage, kingdoms shake, foundations crack. But heaven is not shaken. Heaven is stirring, and those who belong to heaven are being stirred with it. Tonight, something divine will change in you. The mantle that was hidden will be revealed. The purpose that was delayed will ignite. The fire that flickered will burn again with holy power. You have walked through the wilderness, not because God abandoned you, but because He was training you for the mountain. You were pressed, not to destroy you, but to release the oil within you. You were broken, not to end you, but to prepare you as a vessel of glory. For the Spirit is saying, I am awakening my remnant. I am setting apart those who will not bow to fear, who will not compromise in the face of darkness, who will stand even when the world mocks and shine when the night grows darkest. Chosen one, you were born for this hour. You were called to be light in the midnight. You are not small. You are not forgotten. You are part of a divine strategy, older than the earth itself. Tonight, heaven marks a shift. The seals of limitation are breaking. The old garments are falling. The mantle of power, of purity, of prophetic authority is descending upon those who are ready. Do not say, "I am not worthy." Do not say, "I am not able." The Lord did not call the perfect. He perfects the called. He did not seek the strong. He strengthens the willing. This is your moment of divine transformation. You will walk out of this night carrying a different fire. You will become a voice, a light, a warrior clothed in the glory of the King. So rise, chosen ones. Shake off the ashes of yesterday. Lift your hands, lift your hearts, lift your eyes. For the dawn of destiny is breaking, and tonight you will not just hear the word of the Lord, you will become it. This night is not an ordinary night. Something in the unseen realm is shifting, and the call is going out to those who can hear it. The chosen ones. There are moments in time when heaven draws near, when eternity brushes against the present, and those who are sensitive to the Spirit feel the stirring deep within. This is such a moment. The call is not to the multitude, not to the crowd, but to the remnant, the ones whose hearts have been prepared through fire, whose faith has been tested in the wilderness. Tonight, the call to awakening echoes through the chambers of the soul vow. Arise, for your light has come. For too long, many have walked half awake, moving through life as if the days ahead will always look like the days before. But heaven is shaking the sleepers. The trumpet is sounding in the Spirit, summoning the people of God to rise and take their place. You have felt the stirring. You have sensed that something greater is approaching, something beyond the ordinary rhythm of life. That feeling is not your imagination. It is your spirit responding to the divine alarm clock of heaven. Every great move of God begins with a moment of awakening. Before light breaks, there must be a shaking. Before new life emerges, something within must be quickened. The call tonight is not just to awaken from sin, but to awaken from complacency, from fear, from self-doubt, from the lies that say you are unworthy or unprepared. You were not made for the shadows. You were created for the dawn. When the world grows darker, it is not a signal for the chosen to hide. It is the hour for them to shine. The awakening is more than awareness. It is transformation. It is when the spirit of a person comes alive again to the reality of God's purpose. The things that once distracted you begin to lose their grip. The noise of the world grows faint as the voice of destiny grows louder. You begin to see with new eyes and feel with a renewed heart. What once seemed impossible now feels inevitable because you realize heaven has chosen you for this very time. You are not behind. You are right on schedule with God's plan. The world is trembling, nations are restless, and uncertainty fills the air. But the chosen do not panic when the world shakes. They understand that shaking is not destruction for them. It is activation. The same shaking that breaks the world awakens the remnant. When foundations crack, heaven's light finds its way through. The shaking reveals what is unshakable, the kingdom within you. You were not called to fear the shaking. You were called to be the voice of peace within it. Tonight, heaven's message to you is simple yet profound. Wake up, my chosen. The time of silence is over. The hour of sleeping faith is done. The day of destiny is at hand. There is a fire being rekindled in your spirit. The dreams that seemed lost are not gone. They were waiting for this awakening. The prayers that felt unanswered were not ignored. They were reserved for this appointed time. What felt like delay was divine alignment. The call to awakening is not just a call to rise. It is a call to become. You are awakening to your true identity, to your authority, to your divine purpose. You were not chosen to blend in with the world. You were chosen to transform it. You carry within you a light that no darkness can extinguish. And tonight, that light is being ignited afresh. This is the night heaven calls you by name. The Spirit whispers to the deep places of your heart, saying, "Awaken, beloved. The world has seen enough of shadows. Now let them see my light through you." The chosen ones are rising, not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit of the living God. And tonight, if you will respond to that call, you will awaken to everything you were created to be. The world is trembling. You can feel it in the air, see it in the headlines, sense it in the spirit. Nations are unsettled, foundations are cracking, and everything that once seemed stable now shakes beneath our feet. But this shaking is not a sign of defeat. It is the sign of divine movement. When the earth quakes, heaven is speaking. When systems crumble, it is not the end, it is the unveiling of something new. For while the world trembles, heaven remains unshaken, and those who belong to heaven are being stirred with holy purpose. Every generation faces moments of shaking, but few recognize them for what they truly are. To the world, shaking looks like chaos. To the chosen, it is a summons. The shaking is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to awaken you. It separates what is temporary from what is eternal, what is false from what is true. When God allows shaking, He is revealing where your foundation truly stands. And if your foundation is in Him, you will not fall. The storm will rage, but your roots will hold firm in the rock that cannot be moved. Many look at the turmoil of this age and grow fearful. They see darkness rising and hearts failing. But those who walk with heaven see something deeper. They understand that God often speaks through disruption. When the world shakes, it is heaven's way of preparing the stage for His glory. The collapse of the old makes room for the birth of the new. The noise of fear makes space for the voice of faith to rise. The chosen ones do not panic. When the world grows dark, they shine brighter. They do not run from the storm. They rise above it with wings of faith. The shaking reveals the difference between the world and the remnant. While many tremble in confusion, the chosen are stirred with divine fire. The same wind that topples the weak becomes the wind that lifts the strong. For the Spirit is breathing upon those who are ready. not to shake them loose, but to set them in motion. Heaven is mobilizing its people. The shaking is a signal that the hour of passivity is over. This is not the time to shrink back. It is the time to stand firm. You are being called to stability in an unstable world, to courage in an age of fear, to faith when others falter. When the mountains tremble and kingdoms fall, remember this truth: God is still on the throne. His kingdom cannot be shaken. His word cannot be broken. His promises do not waver. The same hand that holds the stars holds your life. And just as the stars do not fall from the sky when the earth quakes, your destiny will not collapse when the world shakes. The chosen are not built on the sands of circumstance, but on the rock of covenant. That is why, even in times of uncertainty, they rise stronger, speak bolder, and love deeper. You are not called to be moved by what you see, but by what you know. The shaking of the world is the stirring of heaven's plan. The instability of nations is the stage for the manifestation of the kingdom. The trembling of the earth is heaven's invitation for you to rise and take your place as a carrier of peace, power, and purpose. You are being stirred because you were made for this moment. The shaking is not against you, it is for you. It is heaven's alarm clock, waking you to your mission. So do not fear the shaking. Let it purify you. Let it strip away everything false, until only the unshakable remains. The shaking is the sound of transformation. It is heaven declaring that something new is being born. And when the dust settles, those who are rooted in God will still be standing, stronger, purer, and filled with glory. While the world trembles, the chosen rise. They become the steady light in the storm, the calm in the chaos, the living proof that heaven cannot be shaken, and neither can those who belong to it. Every chosen one walks through seasons of pressure. It is not punishment, it is preparation. The hand of God often leads his people through places that feel crushing, not because he desires their pain, but because he is drawing out their power. The olive must be pressed to release its oil, and the gold must pass through fire to reveal its purity. So it is with you. The pressure you have felt, the trials, the disappointments, the delays, has not been in vain. Heaven wastes nothing. Every hardship was a classroom. Every storm was a shaping. Every tear watered the soil of your future. There are things that can only be produced in you through the weight of testing. Comfort never cultivates depth, and ease never births anointing. It is in the struggle that strength is formed. It is in the silence that your faith learns to hear. It is in the breaking that your spirit discovers the beauty of surrender. You may have wondered why the path was so narrow, why doors closed, why the answers seemed delayed. But what felt like a setback was in truth a setup for your unveiling. The potter never leaves the clay unfinished. When he applies pressure, it is not to destroy the vessel, but to shape it into something worthy of carrying his glory. The world fears pressure, but the chosen understand it. They recognize it as the mark of destiny. The weight you feel is proof that something divine is being formed within you. Heaven does not invest pressure where there is no purpose. The enemy tried to convince you that your pain was meaningless, but God has been using every moment to prepare you for the next dimension of your calling. Just as David was shaped in the wilderness before he faced Goliath, and Joseph was refined in prison before he ruled in Egypt, so you have been hidden, molded, and strengthened for a greater revelation of purpose. The process may have been painful, but it was never pointless. God was pressing you to release the oil of anointing that was always inside. The frustration, the loneliness, the resistance, these were not obstacles to your calling, but instruments of refinement. You were learning to depend on heaven more than human approval. You were learning to walk by faith, when sight failed you. You were learning the language of trust, the discipline of patience, and the power of surrender. The same fire that burns away the unnecessary also reveals the indestructible. When God allows pressure, it means promotion is near. Before every rising, there is a refining. The greater the calling, the deeper the shaping. You cannot carry glory with fragile faith. You cannot handle destiny with untested character. And so, heaven has been preparing you, quietly, deliberately, lovingly. The hands that pressed you were the same hands that protected you. The moments that broke you were the moments that built you. The crushing released the fragrance that the world will one day recognize as divine. You may not have seen it, but while you were enduring the weight, heaven was working behind the scenes. Every trial was writing your testimony. Every loss was teaching you eternal gain. Every closed door was redirecting you toward the one that opens into destiny. The preparation through pressure is not about survival. It's about transformation. You are not coming out of this the same person who went in. You are emerging wiser, stronger, more radiant with the fire of faith. So when the pressure comes, do not curse it. Embrace it. Lift your eyes and see beyond the temporary discomfort to the eternal purpose. Know that the God who allows the pressing will also provide the power. The same force that crushed you will become the force that propels you. And when it is all complete, you will see that what once felt like breaking was really birthing. The oil that now flows from your life will heal others because it was born of fire, tears, and unwavering faith. What was meant to press you down has instead pressed you deeper into the heart of God. And there, you have become unshakable. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Heaven has not lost sight of you, even when you felt hidden and unseen. Every chosen one goes through a season when it seems as though the light has dimmed, when prayers echo unanswered, and the future feels uncertain. But what you must understand is this: hiddenness is not rejection, it is preparation. When God conceals you, it is because He is clothing you. Before He reveals you to the world, He covers you with a mantle of purpose, purity, and power. There are mantles that heaven reserves for those who have endured the refining fire. These are not given lightly. They are bestowed upon those who have walked through storms and chosen faith over fear, truth over compromise, and humility over pride. The mantle you are about to carry is not something you earn through performance. It is something that descends when your heart has been proven faithful. It is a divine garment woven through every season of testing, every moment of surrender, and every yes whispered in the darkness. The chosen are not defined by their surroundings, but by the seal of heaven upon their lives. You have been marked by God for a specific purpose. The world may not have recognized it yet, but the heavens know your name. You carry a spiritual identity that no force of darkness can erase. Before you were born, God already saw your destiny. Before you spoke your first word, He already assigned your mission. Every struggle, every delay, every disappointment, it has all been shaping the person who will walk in that calling with strength and humility. The mantle represents more than authority. It represents alignment. It is a sign that heaven has trusted you with responsibility. When Elijah's mantle fell upon Elisha, it was not just a symbol of succession. It was a transfer of divine power and purpose. But Elisha had followed faithfully, served humbly, and remained steadfast long before the mantle descended. So too, you have walked through your own journey of obedience, sometimes in silence, sometimes through tears. And now, that faithfulness is about to be clothed with heavenly recognition. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are unworthy. The anointing does not rest on perfection, but on surrender. God does not choose the flawless. He perfects the willing. He takes the ordinary and clothes it with the extraordinary. He takes those who feel unqualified and fills them with His Spirit until they become vessels of supernatural purpose. The mantle that is coming upon you is not a reward for strength, but a declaration of trust. Heaven is saying, you have been found faithful, and now you will be found fruitful. When the mantle descends, everything changes. The same hands that once trembled will heal the broken. The same mouth that once doubted will speak with fire. The same heart that once feared will now burn with holy boldness. The power you admired in others will now flow through you. You will not need to imitate anyone, for your mantle is uniquely fitted to your soul. What God is clothing you with cannot be replicated or stolen. It is tailored for your calling alone. But remember this truth. The mantle is not for display, it is for impact. It is not a badge of status, it is a burden of service. To wear it means to walk in humility, to carry the weight of divine compassion, and to stand as a living representation of heaven's authority on earth. The mantle is both a covering and a commission. It protects you, but it also sends you. So lift your head, chosen one. Shake off the lies that told you that you were forgotten. Heaven has been watching. The season of hiddenness is ending. The moment of clothing is here. You are being robed in power, wrapped in purity, and marked with divine identity. The mantle of your destiny is descending, and when it rests upon you, the world will no longer see the person you were. They will see the light of God shining through you. There comes a moment when heaven shifts, and everything begins to align with divine timing. You can feel it before you see it, a stirring in the atmosphere, a restlessness in your spirit, a knowing that something is about to change. That is the moment when the unseen realm begins to move on your behalf. The same Spirit that hovered over the waters in the beginning now hovers over your life, preparing to bring form to what has long been formless. This is the moment of divine transformation, the point where the old begins to fall away and the new begins to rise. Heaven's shift is not always visible at first. It begins quietly, like the first rays of dawn breaking through the darkness. You may not realize it, but the very things that once opposed you are now being rearranged to serve your destiny. What once seemed delayed is suddenly being accelerated. What was closed is now opening. The doors you could not push open in your strength are now swinging wide by divine command. The heavens are not silent. They are active, aligning circumstances, hearts, and seasons to bring you into your appointed time. The old garments are falling away. The garments of fear, shame, and limitation are being stripped off one layer at a time. The habits that no longer serve your calling, the relationships that hinder your growth, the doubts that have clung to your mind, all of it must fall. God cannot pour new oil into old skins. You cannot step into the next season wearing the rags of the last one. So the Spirit begins to remove everything that has held you back. It may feel uncomfortable, even painful, but it is necessary. Every detachment is making room for your new mantle, your new strength, your new level of glory. As heaven shifts, something also awakens within you. You begin to think differently, seek differently, speak differently. The same words that once expressed fear now declare faith. The same eyes that once saw obstacles now perceive opportunity. You begin to realize that heaven's movement is not only around you, it is also within you. The transformation is not just about changing your situation. It is about changing you so that you can carry what heaven is releasing. This is not a small shift. It is a divine reset. The shaking of the past season was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to position you. You are being recalibrated to operate at a higher level of spiritual authority. Heaven is breaking the patterns of limitation that have defined your life for too long. The Spirit is rewriting your story, moving you from striving to flowing, from endurance to empowerment. You are stepping into a season where your very presence will carry the fragrance of heaven's reality. The release of heaven's mantle always follows surrender. When you let go of what no longer fits, you make space for what has been waiting all along. The divine exchange is taking place. Ashes for beauty, mourning for joy, heaviness for praise. Heaven does not take without giving. Every old thing that falls away makes room for something glorious to descend. You are being clothed in power, boldness, purity, and prophetic authority. The light of God is not only shining upon you, it is beginning to shine through you. This is the season of transformation, and you cannot go back to who you were. The shift is irreversible. Heaven has declared a new order over your life, and no force of darkness can stop what has been set in motion. The very atmosphere around you is changing because the hand of God is resting upon you. The time for hesitation is over. You have been refined, prepared, and chosen. Now the heavens are opening and the new mantle of destiny is descending. Walk in it. Embrace it. You are stepping into the fullness of what you were always meant to be. An unshakable vessel of divine power, carrying the very presence of heaven into the earth. There is a moment in every life when the Word of God ceases to be something you merely hear and becomes something you embody. This is the transformation of the chosen. The moment when truth becomes flesh again, when revelation turns into reality, when prophecy takes on breath within you. The chosen ones are not called just to listen to heaven's voice, but to carry it, to walk it, to live it. The time has come when those who have heard the word in secret will now become the living expression of it before the world. To become the word means that your life begins to reflect the nature of God in everything you do. It means His love flows through your actions, His wisdom through your words, His strength through your endurance. It is no longer about repeating what you have been taught, but about manifesting what you have received. The chosen do not only preach light, they are the light. They do not only speak of hope, they become the evidence of hope to those in despair. This is not a title to claim. It is a transformation to live. Every test you have faced, every trial you have endured, has been shaping this very moment. You are not being broken apart. You are being built into a living testimony. Heaven has been writing the word into the fabric of your being through every experience. The faith you have held onto through tears is now becoming your language. The patience you have learned in the silence is now your strength. The obedience you practiced in secret is now your authority. You have been written on by God Himself, and now the world will read His message through your life. Becoming the Word is not about perfection, it is about alignment. When your heart aligns with His will, His Spirit moves freely through you. You begin to walk not by effort, but by presence. You no longer ask God to move through someone else, because you realize He is moving through you. The power that once felt distant begins to flow from within. The same voice that spoke creation into existence now whispers through your prayers, your compassion, your faith. You are not simply a believer. You are a living vessel of divine expression. The chosen ones of this generation will not blend into the noise of the world. They will stand as living prophecies. Their words will carry weight because they were born in the presence of God. Their actions will carry authority because they are rooted in surrender. When they speak, chains will break. When they pray, atmospheres will shift. When they walk into darkness, light will manifest. They will not merely talk about revival. They will be revival. They will not only echo the word, they will reveal it. This transformation cannot be manufactured. It is birthed through intimacy. It is born from knowing God deeply, not just knowing about Him. The Word takes form in those who dwell in His presence, who have allowed His truth to penetrate every layer of their being. Such people carry an unmistakable fragrance, the aroma of heaven. You can feel it when they enter a room. You can sense it in the peace they carry, in the confidence that flows from their eyes. They are not moved by fear, because they have already become one with the truth that conquers fear. This is what you are becoming tonight, a living word, written by the hand of the Eternal. The same Spirit that breathed over the prophets now breathes through you. You are not a mere echo of divine truth. You are its living echo, resonating through time and space. When you walk, heaven walks. When you speak, light travels. When you love, the heart of God beats within you. So rise, chosen one. Step into this sacred reality. The time for hearing has ended. The time for becoming has begun. You are not just carrying the message. You are the message. You are the living proof that God still speaks, still moves, still transforms. The world will see Him through you, because tonight the Word has become flesh again within your very life.